feel the universe functioning perfectly, but I'm still perfectly locked inside myself. Instead of oneness, I feel isolation.
But you're alive, Ray. Feel it.
I'm scared.
Drugs feature prominently in practically all of your movies, and you had your own experiences with drugs when you started to get into the movie business. Cocaine apparently was your main demon. You managed to kick it while you were writing Scarface. Just tell me about that time in your life.
Well, Angeli, I'm not going to pretend to be anything other than I am. You know, you're a younger generation. You see drugs completely differently. But I grew up at a time when drugs were a very liberating experience in the 60s. You know, I never had drugs before that. All of a sudden I'm on acid and I'm doing pot and, you know, listening to Jim Morrison and Janis Joplin and Jimi Hendrix, the Beatles. It's all crazy. And I was in Vietnam on top of it. So, you know, half the soldiers are doing it, not in the field, but back. A lot of them are black. So I'm learning a whole other culture. Like the people who are doing grass, and I put it in platoon, seem more human to me because they're going into the villages, they're not killing people. Whereas the people, and maybe it sounds a little black and white, but people who are drinking are killing people. I have to say drugs hurt me and helped me. And I speak honestly, cocaine was a disaster. It hurts you. When I wrote Scarface to get even, and I did it cold sober, cold turkeyed it, and I'm very happy that Scarface set it right for me. And then after that, I had other problems in my life. But you know what? At the end of the day, it helped me, kept me balanced, and kept me inquisitive. I don't think I fell asleep. And I moderate everything I do, and you know, try to get away with inside the so-called laws, which I find ridiculous. You know, do I look like I'm insane to you?
Hard to know. Okay. Okay, so fast forward then a few years and The Doors came out. It was a box office smash, but there were certainly critics who said that it was inaccurate. Even Ray Manzarek, who was the keyboardist for The Doors, said that it was a terrible movie and that you ought to be ashamed of yourself. Did you expect such a backlash?
No. You never do. You always hope for the best, you know. Listen, people go up to me still today, everywhere I go, and they love that movie, you know. But I think I caught the spirit. Manzarek was a problem from day one because I didn't shoot his script. And he has a bone to pick, but, you know, and he has his rights. But, you know, the movie, we went to we had Paul Rothschild on it, we had Robbie Krieger, and we had the John Densmore. We had tremendous we had tremendous technical advice and help.
How did you get on with Val Kilmer?
That's a funny story. Yeah, Val was horrible in those days. Now he's great. I love Val. I put him back in Alexander as Philip, you know, the father of Alexander. I love Val. He's changed 180 degrees, but he was a monster back then. In a loving monster, but nonetheless.
Now, with JFK, though, you must have known that would ignite sentiments across the board.
No, I thought I would be appreciated for trying to unearth this huge hypocrisy that was going on, the Warren Commission. And I was shocked at the degree of, I didn't realize, see, I was a young man, I didn't understand what the establishment meant. I didn't understand that they do control newspapers like the Washington Post and that the New York Times and a lot of the TV stations. I was sandbagged. But you know what, we did so much research, and I'm one of the few people alive who still talk to I've spoken to probably more of the Dealey Plaza witnesses than any single person. I've actually talked to real witnesses on the ground, like an infantry soldier should do. They were there when the shots were fired. They were questioned by the FBI. The stuff in the movie is not made up. Obviously there's ellipses, but you know, I'll go head to head with anybody on what's in that movie.
FBI tried 2 sets of tests. Not one of their sharpshooters could match Oswald's performance. Not one. And Oswald was at best a medium shot. The scope was defective on it too. I mean, this is the whole essence of the case to me. The guy couldn't do the shooting. Nobody could. And they sold this lemon to the American public.
You've got this reputation, though, as a walking argument. You're ready for a fight with anybody at any time. Are you an angry person?
No, I'm laughing.
You don't strike me as being
if I had never taken drugs, I'd probably be an angry person. You can't be angry. Anger will kill you, give you cancer or whatever, take your life. No, anger doesn't work. being smart, and keeping your anger under control, using it for constructive purposes.
Thank you so much indeed.
Thank you, Angela.
And the show doesn't stop here. You can check out more Talk Asia interviews online at cnn.com/TalkAsia.